Welcome to another day of Camp Base. I'm glad you made it through day one. Overnight, you should have been practicing your composition, and today you'll expand on them. But first, I'd like to teach you about chords. From 9 to 9:30, I'll teach the campers the four basic types of triads: major, minor, augmented, and diminished, and I'll also teach the dominant seventh chord as well. I'll tell them that there are other sevenths as well, and there are chord extensions beyond the sevenths, but they generally sound bad if you're new to composing, so don't use them. We're then gonna play a game cause kids like games. We're going to use the pitches that the campers were given yesterday. Ideally, they should have remembered their pitch, and they have written it down somewhere. Hopefully they'll keep their introduction sheets like I did. The goal of the game is to get from one side of the room to the other. However, one person is it and has to tag someone else in the game to prevent them from crossing the room. With their pitches from yesterday, they need to form groups of 3 so that they can form a chord to prevent being tagged. In camps with less than 12 students, the pitches from yesterday will be distributed in a way so that they will be able to form a chord today. Once they form a chord, they must sing the pitches and state whether the chord is major, minor, augmented, or diminished. If they fail to get this right, then the person in the middle becomes it. Anyone who gets tagged by the person who's it becomes it and can tag anyone else who is not it so that they can become it. The game is over when either someone crosses the room, in which case they win, or if everyone else becomes it. It's hard to explain, so here's a demonstration of the activity. Let's make student number 12 it because no one cares about him and nobody actually knows his name. So these guys are supposed to run across the room. Student number 12 sees that there are 3 unlinked people running towards the other side of the room, and the 3 people see each other and they say, "Oh, hey, we could form a chord, let's link up." And student number 12 has no choice but to wait for them to unlink. E, G, and B would be an E minor triad, so they have to sing. Elsa would sing an E, Tyler would sing a B, and will sing a G. And they sing the chord and say that it's a minor triad, so they're safe. But if they get it wrong, the person in the middle, Tyler in this case, is now it, and these 2 are given the chance to escape. And these 2 can resume tagging someone, so Elsa's tagged, so she's it as well, and Egg wins another game. Cool, good job, Egg. As you can see from this example, running can be a hazard, so I'm not sure if I want to do this game, but it sounded like a cool idea in my head. Plus, the game is no fun with only 4 campers, as you can see here. Then I'll teach them the remaining aspects of music notation. So far they have learned pitch, rhythm, and chords, which to me is 80% of music. The other 20% are all smaller things like dynamics, expressions, and articulations. These are things that they should know as a performer reading other people's music. Instead of teaching these concepts, I'll make the campers perform the concepts by playing musical charades. I will also print out a list of dynamics and expressions so that we're on the same page. This list will contain all the terms that will be used when playing musical charades. Here's a demonstration of the activity. I'll hand a card to the camper who won the last activity. So Egg has trill, so if she doesn't know what a trill is, then she is stupid. No, I'm just kidding. She can look it up on her list of terms. Then she has to act it out by either voice or on the piano that should be in the classroom. The camper who correctly identifies what she's singing will get a card and come up to the front of the classroom to perform their card. So let's say Joe guesses correctly that Egg just sung a trill. So they switch places and now Joe's in the front of the classroom, or at least in the front of my camera, and he gets a card. Let's say he gets a... say he gets a forte. So let's say Joe gets a forte and he sings a forte like really loudly. As most fortes are. So yeah, that's musical charades. The winner is whoever gets the most cards at the end of the game, since I won't be collecting them until the end of the game. Hopefully they won't lie about how many cards they have because I won't be counting them individually. With this block of time, I also want to emphasize that there are some musical expressions that cannot be notated. The playing style is up to the performer's interpretation of the music, and the composer has no way of notating it. I feel that this is difficult for a composer to accept, however, that is the reality of life. Then we'll have lunch. You've already seen a demonstration of what it could look like yesterday. When we come back, we'll be at the computers. More advanced students may compose, but for those who want to listen, I'll be teaching them thematic transformations. This is augmentation, diminution, retrograde, and inversion. Inversion as in flipping your melody upside down, not the inversion of chords. I won't be going over chord inversions since you rarely have to think about them when composing, and it's very hard to use an inversion and have it sound bad these days. Then I'll be quiet and let everyone else compose for the remainder of the time. Thanks for attending Camp Base today, and I'll see you tomorrow.